Okay, I wanted to go through a little bit about the Women's March situation. Last year, I tried to get us in, and they told me to come back this year. Well, I came back this year. Couple of weeks back, I had contacted through the website, through the profile on Facebook, didn't get any responses. Week and a half goes by. Finally, I contact some direct individuals through their individual profiles, and they got back with me. One in particular, her name is Jessica. She's one of the primary Denver March organizers. She got back with me. And I had some conversations with her, stressing to her how important this is. I mean, they use terms like, underrepresented, marginalized, that they are wanting to make a room, a safe space for the voices of people who are discriminated against, underrepresented, marginalized, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, well, what, what community, what population is more so than sex workers? Because you have immigrants, you have migrant workers, you have people of color, you have transgender, you have everybody, and everybody is disenfranchised and discriminated against. And people are being raped by police, coerced into sex in exchange for not arresting. There's just so many long list of human rights violations right here, and this is a important platform to give this issue some put it out there. And at first, I was told no. And I kept pushing. I kept saying, come on, it's just a little bit of time, for something so important. And Jessica, she and I had, conversations. She did seem to empathize. She said that, I believe that she did advocate for us by putting this out there as much as she did. Although I think it's important to note, in the end, she did vote to remove me, and it was a unanimous vote. So in the end, she went ahead and went with the rest of them. But, initially I was told no. Then I was told that there was a little bit of a chance. Then I was told that there's a 50% chance. And then I was told, no, sorry, it's not going to work this time. And then Wednesday evening, she contacted me and said somebody dropped. So, you're in. Someone dropped and you're in. I've got the text right here. Can I call you tonight to go over details? And she was excited. I was excited. I said, awesome. That's great news. So we had a conversation on the phone, and I was told the Wednesday night, I want to go over something too. I sat with her and spoke with her on the phone for about an hour and 15 minutes or longer, because they didn't have any kind of understanding of our issues. So I had to sit there and explain and educate. And she was very apologetic, told me that none of their other speakers had to do that. And she acknowledged that. But anyway, I thought it was worthwhile to do so. I wanted to get these issues out there on a mainstream platform. That was the primary motive for me, was, to build and create social political currency that our community could use and desperately needs also. So that was, to me, the only reason to even do it, because the primary work that we need to be doing is in the courts, fighting this, changing the laws. That's the main investment. But I thought this would be good to signal boost our cause in the case that we have in California. But so anyway, I realized, and she realized, that while everybody else had time to work on their speeches, I only had Thursday and Friday. Was supposed to turn it in Friday afternoon or as soon as possible. It's not easy to write a 3-minute speech that encompasses such an important issue that I knew that the people at this march, many of them wouldn't have any clue so to try to, this was a challenge. And Jessica acknowledged that. She even said to me in the phone call that she understood that everybody else had time to work on their speeches and I did not. So, to go ahead and just turn it in as soon as I could on Friday. And, I was in Friday. People were texting me saying, "You're on the website." I go over to the website. There I am, Domina Elle, speaker, blah, 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 on the website, a little bio. So I'm like, okay, cool. I actually didn't work on Thursday. I had work I was supposed to do. I was dealing with a bad cold, but also I had to get this, done. So I skipped out on some work I could have done to work on that, and then Friday I couldn't skip out on work 2 days in a row. I got to pay rent. So Friday, during the day I worked. But, as soon as I got done with work, I was working on that speech. I was working on that speech clear up to work. And then, I was really trying to get this to them as soon as possible. So I turned in the speech early Friday evening. I'd say, I don't know, between 6 and 7, something like that. 30 minutes later, after I send in my speech, I get a text from Jessica saying, "There's a problem. Can you have a phone conference in 20 minutes? And I said, sure. I went over to the website. I was removed. I knew what was happening. On the phone call, I am told that the speech does not fall in line with the theme. Now, I want to quote some of the things that I was told. Let's see. The request from the board was to know, and this is before they told me I was in, okay? Before they decided. The request from the board was to know how your story would be uplifting and motivational. We're criminalized. We're being raped by cops. We have no rights. We have no ability to report when crimes are committed against us. This long list of human rights violations, how do you want me to be uplifting? We want our rights, but anyway, but that was before they approved me. That was before, I had sent some messages. Those were forwarded to the planning committee. That was Tuesday. And then Wednesday, someone dropped your in. And then Wednesday, I asked, what time would we be speaking? There was just some general stuff going on. And then, of course, Friday at 6:26, that's when I sent them between 6 and 6:30, I sent it. And then, hey, we have an issue, going to call you in 20 minutes with the co-organizer. And then we're off. So the next day I watch the speeches. I watch the performances also. And, their theme of March to the Polls, their theme of Hear My Truth, I wove those into my speech. Quitters never win, winners never quit. And I'm not going to let anything like this, they in the conversation when they cut me, they made claims that, we could work together over the, towards the next march. That there was even a comment made that they could even, bring this into next year's organizing as, to be inclusive of our issues. So what do you think? I ought to hold them to it? You can certainly send an email. I'm going to put that underneath the video, an email to the Denver March organizers saying that you're disappointed. Please be nice. They were very unprofessional in how they did this. And, we could do far better than that. And the main work, our main work, is in the courts. In the the Esplurp case, it's not over. We have a fight ahead of us always, but just use this to solidify your resolve. Be stubborn. Be stubborn. Let it fuel your resolve that they cannot dampen our spirits to the point where we're just going to go away. No. I know I'm not going to go away. So if you're watching this and you are an erotic service provider, hang in there. Keep hanging in there. Let's support each other more assertively. Find out who is in the trenches, who is working with legislation, who is working to challenge the law. The Erotic Service Provider Legal Education and Research Project, ESPLRP, is one of those orgs that is directly focusing on changing the law, challenging the law, creating strategy around bringing the penal codes down. And to mobilize around people and actions that are solidly challenging the law. Much love to you and yours. Let's stand in solidarity beyond our differences, whatever they may be. We are united under the banner of decriminalization. We're united under the banner of human rights, regardless of ethnicity, regardless of any of our differences. Let us unite under the banner of justice. Thank you.